Hey, hello guys. So I hope all of you are doing well and safe. And in this video today, uh, last time when we discussed about like fetching data from different sources, and we worked on pivot table and all that stuff, cleaning up the data and all that stuff. Today we will move forward to learn how to fetch the data from how we can connect from databases to fetch the data, and we will jump onto a very important concept of Excel these days, that is Power Query. Power Query I'll guide you about that. What is a Power Query? How we use that, and why it is so much important, and why it is in so much requirement. Okay. So in data analytics industry today, whatever tool we are using for the reporting purpose for analytics, Power Query is one of the most important tool out of that. Let's jump in. So what I'm doing is, for this example purpose, I'm opening a new Excel sheet. Okay. So you open up the new Excel sheet, go to your data menu bar. Okay. So if you jump to data menu bar, you'll find the options here to connect different sources here. We have a lot of sources available from which we can get the data. So if we click on this, we have lots of options available here. We have from files, it can be a workbook text, CSV file. Right now, I am interested for the database, and for the first example, I am using a Microsoft Access database. Okay, so it's an official database. I'll give the link to download it in the comment in the details section of the session. You can download it for practice purpose from there. Okay, so it's a sales database given on downloaded from official Microsoft website. Okay, so if we click on this database and if we import it, if we hit on the import button, it will start loading up the tables from the database. Okay, so once you click on, as we need to select multiple tables, you select first to select this option, select multiple items, make this checkbox enabled. And now if you see, there are multiple tables which are related to my which are related to dimensions in the fact table. So if you are very new to data analytics, it may be a little bit, in my previous video, I have already explained what exactly is the meaning of a dimension and a fact table. So I request you to please go through that video, understand the terminology of say dimensions and fact again to make it more clear. So it will be more easier for you to understand. Okay. So once you open up this navigator window, if you click on any table button, if you click on any table name, it will give you a preview of the data here. You can see the preview of the data here. These are the columns inside the date table: date, month number, month name, month ID, month, quarter, and year. Similarly, I can have a preview of the geo table as well. So we can have a preview of all the tables, whatever we want, and we can have a look on the data set before loading it. So let's say for this example, I want to load all these tables. So I will select my required tables. I'm selecting all. Okay. And now after selecting all these tables, you can see here there are two options: load and transform data. What exactly is the meaning of that? Let's understand. Load means if you are loading the data directly, it will load the data into your Excel sheet, and you can start creating up the reports out of that data. But definitely before doing it, we need to do some cleanup operations. We need to do, maybe we don't need we need to remove unnecessary columns. We need to add some extra columns. Okay, as for example, if we are into the date table right now, so we can see we have the name, month number, month name. Maybe I need performance. I need to see the sales analysis weekly. So we can add week columns. So there are lots of informations. So for that, what we need to do is we need to click on transform data. So as soon as I hit transform data, it will open up a new window, that is Power Query editor window. Okay. So if you are very new to Power Query, don't be worried. In next half an hour, we'll get it totally clear for you. Okay. So the first thing you can see on this, let me just explain you the look of the Power Query, how it looks like. First of all, we are jumped up into the Power Query, and we can see here all the tables have been loaded here in query section. We have this query pane here, where in the left, where all the tables have been loaded. Okay, so you can see here, whenever you click any data, any table, it gives you a description here that how many columns are there into the table. 7 columns, and there are more than 999 plus rows. Okay, so if it is giving you a brief demo of your records here, you need to load more. You can go down, and it will continue to load more. Okay, now similarly for geo table and the other tables, we will get the information here. So if we click on the geo table, we can get 6 columns and 999 plus rows. Okay, Same way we can continue in this way. But first thing, what I want. First of all, I want to rename this table. I want to be very clear with the name of the tables. It should not be BI underscore date. I'll just rename it as a date table. I just want to rename it as a date table. So you can see here, we'll find the property section here. So just hit on that date. You will get renamed. The table is now renamed. So what I'll do, I'll rename all my tables. So I'll rename this table as my dim CO table. The dim means it is a dimension table, so denoting it as a dimension table. It's not capital E, it's small. That's fine. Similarly, we need to rename the manufacturer table. So I'll just rename it as dim manufacturer. Okay. Similarly, for my product, I'll just click here, rename it as dim product. And this is my fact table. So I'll just go and rename it as a sales fact table. Okay. And the last one is sentiment. So I'll rename it as dim sentiment. It makes us clear what exactly the table belonging to which group. Okay. So now let's jump into the data tab, into the tables, and we move to the first table of date. So what comes in picture in front of me when I look this as a date table? The first thing what I can see here is a date column. I can have different where we have the different sales on these dates. The problem in this, the data type of the column. You can see here, it has a lot of data types. If we click on this button, we'll get the list of data types. Okay. We can see here, it has given, by default, it has given the text data type for this date column, which is not correct. If you need to do analysis on a date, it has to be converted into a date data type. Okay. If you have the time information as well, then date time, otherwise date data type. There are two options for that, changing the data type of a column. You can either go on here, select the data type, whatever you want, or you can go into the home menu bar. You can select it from here as well. You can see here right now it is in text data type. So click on this drop down arrow and select the required data type. So I'm changing it to date. One more very important point, guys. Initially, I'm telling you, as soon as you perform any action, it will be recorded here. All the action steps are getting recorded here. You can see here the change type action has been recorded here. If you need to undo it, just cancel it. It will be back to the previous data type only. But no, I want to change the data type. So I'm changing it to date. Okay, month number, it's absolutely fine, no problem. Month name is also in text, that is also fine. That's not an issue for me. Month ID, it's in number, that's fine. But I think month ID, it's an unnecessary column. I don't want it. If you don't need any column, what you can do here, you can see the option as remove column. Very important step, remove column. If you need to remove this column, you can select it. If you need to remove 2-3 columns, if you need to remove multiple columns like this column and the other 3 columns as well, so select this column, press shift key, select all the columns and click on remove columns and click on remove columns. It will remove all the other columns. Don't worry, we can get it back. Section has been recorded here. We can click on this, we can undo this section and we can get it back. Okay, so in this way we can remove the column which you don't want to be included in your report. Okay, and now if you need to, let's suppose I want to keep this column, I'm saying that okay, sometimes it happens that we want to keep these 2 columns and remove all the other columns from my table. I want to keep these 2 columns are required for my report, but the other columns are unnecessary. I don't want to see into my data set. What I can do, I can select these 2 and click on remove columns and remove other columns. So what it will do, it will keep these 2 columns only and remove all the other columns which are not required for your table. So I'm undoing it. That's fine. I don't want this column right now, so I'll click on remove column. That's not required. Yes, that month is fine, but in the month also it is having 2 parts. That is a problem for me. If you see here, it's January 99. We already have a year column separated here. We already have a year column separated here, which is giving me the value for year. I don't want to include the year combined here into my month as well. So how to handle this? How to handle this problem? For that, what I can do is I can just need to go on to transform, and there is an option of split column. There is an option of split column. You can find it out here, split column. Or if you find any problem here, you can just right click very simply and click on split column. So it's asking you how you want to split the column, by number of characters, by position, or what. I want to say I want to split it by delimiter. Click on by delimiter. It will ask you what is the delimiter, what delimiter you are using. So is it a colon? comma, equal sign, semicolon, what? I'll say it's a custom because we have a custom delimiter here. And what it is, you can see here, it's a hyphen symbol. So what we can do, we can put a hyphen symbol here. That's fine. Yes, each occurrence of the delimiter, I want to split it. And that's fine. There are some advanced options as well. We'll look at in some later part. But right now I'm happy with this to delete, to split on occurrence of our hyphen symbol. Click on OK. As soon as I do it, you can see here, it has now been converted into two columns, month 1 and month 2 has been splitted as per my requirement. So I don't want this now. I have this month name clear very simply here. So I don't want these two columns here. So I'll remove them. I'll remove these two columns and I have the year separated here very simply. So I don't want. And I want the year column, the month column value very clearly, which is satisfying my requirement. Similarly, we have the quarter information. That's very good. I wanted it. It's in quarter. It's in ABC. No need to change it. And here it's in numeric value. No problem from that. So now it looks fine. I'm happy with the with the date table. No problems inside that. So that's okay for that. We'll sometime in coming examples. First, we'll cover up all the tables. And in coming example, I'll tell you how to add extra columns from your date. Okay. Just giving a small demo here. Let's say right now we have month name here. We already got the month name here. Okay, we already have the month name column here. But in case if you need to get some extra columns, for example, start of the month, when start date of the month, you can add a column start of month. Okay, you can go here and you can add end of the month, days in a month, number of days in a month. Sometimes it is very important. Name of month, we already have it with us. Quarter information, we already have it. Week information, if you want to see it week wise, you can get the week wise information as well. And sometimes we need to do analysis at day wise. So what we need is name of the day. We'll discuss in more detail this total descriptions in coming up video. But here I'm giving a small demo so we can get the name of the day as well if required. Okay, you can add these columns. Yes, definitely I want this column here. So I have added it right now. Okay, so go here and now jump to the second table. That is my geography table. So inside this geography table, if I have a look, first of all, it's containing my zip code of the country, of the city, and that look fine for me. City name also looks fine. There is not a big problem with the city name, so it looks fine. The state name, the data type looks fine. The region, inside the region, I can look a problem that some of the values are null. Some of the values inside my region. If I want to see the whole list of regions what I have, so I can click on this drop down arrow, click on load more. It will show me all the null values and all the other values what are appearing inside this region column. So I want to handle this null problem. I need to handle this null problem. So how can we do that? For that, what you can do is, by default, if the values are not, if the region value is null, we can replace it with the west section. Okay, so what you just need to do, select the null values. You will now selecting all the null values, and now what you can do is you need to replace a value. So what you can do is there is a replace option. Okay, so you can find it replace values here. So replace value, what you want to replace? I want to replace null with what? With what? I want to replace it with not section. Hit okay. All the null values will be replaced. Okay. I'll tell you later on based on your condition as well, based on a condition how you can add it. But right now we have done simply that we have replaced all our values by null. So if you need to, we are right now we have applied a filter. So if you need to apply, remove the filtered rows, just gone. So now you can see here, we have all the values. We load all the data. That's fine. And now we are into district. That looks okay to me, no problem. And the country name also looks okay to me. That is also fine. Let's move to the next table of manufacturer, where we have manufacturer ID. It is in 1.2. I don't think so. That is the correct data type for this, because 1.2 means it is in decimal number. It is not required. It should be a whole number. I'm replacing it with a whole number, and the manufacturer name, no problem with that. We are happy with this in text data type, so no problem with this. A DIM product, if we see the product IDs, these are into the text data type. Okay, that is not correct. It should be in numeric. So we'll replace it with the whole number. And now once again, there is a problem. What is that? Can you see here in the product name? This is my product name. That is containing manufacturer name hyphen MA01, some product code. Okay. But that doesn't look good to me because I already have a manufacturer name here in a separate column. Then why to combine the product name with the manufacturer column? You guess it? Absolutely correct. We need to split the column. How we'll do for that? Once again, same option, go to split column or right click here, click on split column by delimiter. Yes, once again, we need to click on by delimiter. Okay, so go here by delimiter. It is asking you what delimiter you want. I'm saying which delimiter you want. So I'm saying choose the delimiter. It's custom. Must be hyphen symbol. That's fine. Done. So now you can see here it. Just a moment. No, okay. Something gone wrong. Just do it once again. Split column by delimiter. Is a hyphen symbol. And that's okay. The preview for section 1 dim product delimiter does not exist. Okay, just a moment. Okay, it was a space. No, it was not a hyphen symbol. It was a space. That's why it was creating a problem. So what we need to do is split column by delimiter. And yes, we need to choose a space of the delimiter. So that's absolutely fine. All done. Now you can see here, it has created two columns for us, product code and manufacturer code. We have the manufacturer code already here. So it is not required for me this product code. So what I'll do, I'll remove this column. I already selected. So just remove this column. It is not required. And I can rename this very simply to my product code. That's absolutely fine. How to rename this column? You can see it this way as well. Product code. That is fine. And the next column is the product ID. So that's fine. No problem with this. This is not required as well. And we have the category. That is absolutely fine. We have segment, to which segment it belongs. So we have some values inside this, all season, the other segments. That's fine. The manufacturer ID, it's okay. The manufacturer name, it's also okay. No problem with this now. Okay. So this table now looks fine. And if we go to the sales fact table, very important, where we need to do perform all the calculations. We have the product ID column. That is okay, but it should be in numeric. Okay, we have the date column. It should be into the date format. So first of all, I have to change it. Zip code, it's okay because in zip code we don't have any, it's in numeric, but we don't need any calculation on this column. That's okay if I keep it in ABC format as well. The units, number of units, it's absolutely correct. It is in the whole number and the revenue. If you need to change up the data type, you can go here and change it up. But yes, I'm happy with this decimal number, so no problem with this. Okay, and the last table is dim sentiment. So inside this dim sentiment, what we have is, if we have a look very closely on the data set, we have the product IDs. Just convert into a whole number. Zip is fine. State is also fine. Date, I don't want the time information, so I just convert it into a simple date. That's fine now. The manufacturer information is okay. Core information is also okay. Manufacturer ID, it's okay. State ID also looks okay, and the date ID also looks okay. That's fine. And even I don't think so that we need this date ID column, so we can remove it as well. That looks okay for me now. So we have done the basic transformations. We have removed unnecessary columns. We have changed the required data types, changed the name of tables. You can see all the actions have been recorded here for each and every table. All the actions, whatever performed by you, all the actions will be recorded here. Okay, so in case if you need any action to be undo, you can just remove that particular action. Okay, so now what sometimes right now this is a very small example for demo right now, but in case if you are having too many tables, that means you are having too many dimension tables, and if you are having too many fact tables as well, then sometimes it is very difficult to manage the table in this way. What I will do is the best way of managing the tables here is to create the groups. So click on new group, okay, and the name of your group, you should put the name of your group. So I'll say sales dimension. Okay, so it has created a group here, and I'll create one more group for the sales fact. If you need to add any description about that, you can add it. Okay, so now we have two groups. So now it's very simple for me. What I want is I want to move my all dimension tables into the dimension group. You can just select the table. You can see here, move to group, the dimension group. Similarly, date table, move to group, dimension group. Manufacturer, move to group, dimension group. If you want to do two or more tables together, select both the tables, move to group, dimension. Done. All the tables have been properly organized into a single group now. Similarly, we need to move the sales fact group into the fact table group. Done. So now we are ready with the basic. We have a lot of things to discuss here into Power Query Editor. We have huge. There are a lot of things to discuss in this. But yes, at least we are ready with the basics. Okay. So what I want is I want to apply whatever I have done changes and need to load this data into Excel so I can start creating my pivot table. But before that, one more very important point here is, suppose in case if you are already if you're having this data, but you need to add some extra data inside that. You need to add some extra data inside that. So what you can go is what you can do is you can go to data source settings. You can see here, these are the sources which I'm following right now. If you need to add some extra source, go to new source. What it is it a file or database or other queries, other sources? So in the coming up session, I'll tell you three important points we'll discuss: merge queries and append queries. That if we are importing other sources here into the same already existing tables, then how to merge up the data from different sources. Okay, so we are keeping the video length small so that it will be easy for you to understand, not too much pressure onto a single in a single video. But I'm just telling you here, if you need to add some new source, you can go here to file, choose any of the file. It may be Excel file. So let's say, for example, I'm choosing the sample sales data, import it. It will import it into the same section. Yes, I want the sheet 1 to be loaded. Then hit OK. It will be loaded here into the left hand side of your query section. You can see here, we got in the other queries. Now we got the sheet 1 in the dimension table. If you need to move it to any other group, you can move it. Okay, move it to other queries. Done. Next section in the video, we will talk about how to merge this data with this already existing fact table. Okay, so I request you to practice all this. If any queries, please let us know and we'll come up with the answers. Thank you. And if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it so we can give you the best ideas. Thank you.